warning angels. Well, today, sorry, I'm trying to get out of that sun. So I said that I would start a series sharing my lived experience. So today I will share a little bit about how I was trafficked. So I had spent many years, from the time I was 6 years old, is when my essay as a child started happening. So even though I was in my adult years, I was married and I had kids, I never got the help that I needed. Abuse was all I had ever known. I have a mother that is a classic, really severe narcissism case. Um, I never had support from family. My family was honestly like a Jerry Springer show. Everything was competition and who could hurt who more. Um, I did not have good taste in men. I've been married and divorced 3 times, and all 3 of them were abusive in their own way. Um, the 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 last 2 weren't physically abusive, but they were very mentally and psychologically abusive, and had affairs and things. Um, but I was already a very, very screwed up girl. Um, I was always very immature, very younger than my age, a little girl in a woman's body. Even while I was married, I was essayed um, multiple times. Um, so again, this was the only kind of life I knew. I thought this was all normal, that this is what I deserved. This was my life. Um, although my girls were my absolute entire existence, I wasn't a good mother to them. I loved them more than my own life, but I didn't know how to be a mother. I was in such a deep depression. I spent a lot of my time taking my pain pills and hold on a sec. Lisa, sit down. Sit. Sorry. Um, so I was just very lost for a very long time. When I had my son, not Aislinn, I have another son. My family got together and thought it would be best if I left and went back to Canada to be with family where I could get the help that I needed. And I did not want to leave my little boy, who was only 2 weeks old at the time, my 2 daughters, who were my whole life. But I felt like I didn't have a choice. Come to find out, when I got here, things weren't as I had hoped, and I will share that in another video. So it was unbelievably traumatic being away from my kids, especially my 2-week-old son, who I very rarely got to talk to. I couldn't even talk about him. I ended up getting involved with this guy who was in jail like shortly after we met. I ran up phone bills from ghost lines and ended up moving in with his friend. Um, like nothing sexual or anything like that, just until he got out, which he never did. Um, so I was back and forth on the streets and doing drugs and bouncing from house to house, and I was with this guy for a long time who was incredibly abusive. So eventually a bunch of stuff happened, and I ended up going back to Oshawa, where I had family and some friends lived there. And I ended up meeting somebody and getting involved with the carnival, running a game for kids. When that ended, we ended up in London, Ontario, and I got even worse into the drugs. At this point, I hadn't spoken to my children in a long time. I wasn't able to talk to them. I even got reprimanded for posting or tagging photos of my own child, my own little boy. Anyway, I'll get into that in another video. So anyways, I ended up becoming homeless and meeting this guy that I ended up staying with, and as just friends, he introduced me to his drug dealer, who was very, very well known in the town. He was known as the godfather to the Jamaican mafia, but he wasn't. He was just an old, small, hold on, baby, fat black man who was very powerful, had a lot of money, had a lot of connections, and had a lot of dealings, illegal dealings going on in that town. Anyways, he befriended me and like he was where we got our pills, but he was so incredibly kind and like always knew the right things to say, and said that I wasn't like the other girls, the other people on the streets. I was different, and that he was going to do everything in his power to reunite me with my girls in Florida and to help me get off the street. So he moved me into his basement. He ended up paying for all my drugs, um, you know, paid for everything. And, he helped me in a lot of ways. And then a few months in, and he was married. His wife was really, really messed up. They hadn't been together in a long time. They just lived together. But anyways, so a few months in, he took me to a friend of his who he said he had business with. We went to a basement, and they excused themselves to talk in the other room, and he had a little girl there. So I ended up playing with this child, and everything was fine. And all of a sudden, they came out and sent the child upstairs, locked the door. They both sat on the couch, and that's when I was informed that I had to start paying side back. Hold on. For everything that he had done for me. And that's Nisa. That's how it started for me. There was a lot of crying, and I wasn't pleading, but my eyes were pleading. Messiah, please, why are you doing this? Don't do this. And all he did was smile. So that's how it started for me. And it became a regular thing. Usually he would be services the same time as his friend. Sometimes he would just set it up. I just, it's so easy for me to listen to others and be there for them, and show compassion and love and all this stuff. But when it comes to me talking about my own, I'm very, honey, I need you to go, please. It's still very difficult. Anyways, Nisa, I'm sorry. Hold on. Enough. Come here. Enough. Sorry, he sees other dogs and other people. So anyways, if you have any questions, anything, you're welcome to message me anytime. I'll start sharing a lot more of these, and I'm doing this so those who have been through all of this trauma, I'm about to run out of time, you're not alone. You will never be alone. We're in this together, and I'm here for you, whatever you need.